It is week 5 in the National Football League, our first week of byes. Steelers, Packers, Bears, Falcons all idle this week. Another NFC West matchup on Thursday to get things kick-started, Niners and Rams. And we have another Sunday morning game in Europe, Vikings and Browns in London. And look, last week, both Kyle and Pete, were great. But Pete, that's back-to-back.
I'm on fire.
Let's go.
Back-to-back.
I thought I had a good week. I come in here blind on how Pete did, and obviously he beat me again.
Pete, 8 games over 500. Every week in the YouTube comments we see, how could it add up to that many? There are only this many games. Well, we add in the best bets as well. That counts as a point for the week as well.
Glad you cleared that up for all the YouTubers out there.
Yeah, we all hit the
It's like rainbow ball in the three-point
Bet.
contest.
Yeah.
Just an extra.
So there you see the records. I'm Chris Hassel, joined by Kyle Long and Pete Prisco. And let's start it off with another really nice NFC West matchup on Thursday night. It's the Rams, favored by 5.5 points here against the 49ers. And Brock Purdy struggled in his return, turned it over 3 times as they lost for their first time this season.
And he's iffy this week.
Yeah,
he
the toe injury is not gone.
And you could tell the toe was impacting him. I mean, the passes were high. He wasn't on target. He just didn't look comfortable, and he really struggled. And, he made some plays here and there, but I thought he didn't look the same as he did. So maybe they go back. Mac Jones was hurt, too. Maybe they go back to Mac Jones, but he was hurt, too. He had a bad knee. So it'll be interesting to see who they play in this game. But they are so undermanned right now. I mean, you look at it, no Kittle, no Bosa. They didn't touch Trevor Lawrence the other day. Didn't touch him. I mean, they didn't get anything near him. So I think the Rams will be able to put up a number. I think Matt Stafford's playing at a high level. The passing game's good. They finally got Tutu Atwell involved. They need to get his speed going. He hit the big play. I'm going to take the Rams minus the points.
You know what? I think the Rams, even if this was just a Rams 49ers straight up spread here, I think the Rams are that much better. And whoever's playing quarterback for the 49ers is going to be sore regardless after this football game because of the gentleman they have up front for the LA Rams. And it's been that way for the Rams for a long time.
Trying to get him on the money line, are you?
No. You know what? I'll tease this one. I'll tease this one the other way. I'll go Rams minus 7.5. How about that, Petey boy? I love the Rams. You know what? And Matt Stafford's playing like an MVP candidate. You take a look around the league, all these quarterbacks dropping like flies. Matt Stafford may be the only one left before it's all said and done. Give me the Rams in this one, and it's because of that defensive front. I think they're going to drive the Niners crazy.
38 and a bad back, and he put up 375 yards last week. I mean, incredible. The guy's tough as can be.
Pete, you always say when talking about the Rams that you just don't think they're fast enough. But getting Tutu involved, does that change things?
They have to get him involved. And you know what? At the owners' meetings last year, in May or March, Sean McVay said, we got to get Tutu Atwell involved. The fans always ask me, because that's on me. Well, they got him involved the other day. It's his only catch the other day, but they need to get him involved in the passing.
And if they're not going to generate pressure, the Niners, dude, I mean, what do you expect to happen with Matt Stafford? He's going
to pick him apart.
49ers have gone 11 straight games without an interception on defense. Those injuries really hurting this team. So that's Thursday night football. Sunday morning, it's another European game, and it's the Vikings. First team to ever play back-to-back games in different European countries. Ireland last week, lost to the Steelers. Now they face the Browns.
I mean, they didn't play very well last week. I thought Carson Wentz looked like Carson Wentz we expected to see early in that game, and then he got a lot of garbage stuff at the end of the game and kind of got him back into it. But I didn't like what I saw from them. I really didn't. Offensively, they never really got into a rhythm until it was too late in the game. And they let, the Steelers' offensive line push them around a little bit. And I thought Rodgers made some good, timely throws. He didn't put up big numbers, but then again, nobody in this league puts up big numbers throwing it anymore. Rarely do they do. But I think you look at this game, I think the Browns' defense will keep them in it. I had the Browns last week against the Lions. That was one of my losers. And when you looked at it, it should have been a winner. They ripped the punt return. They kept them in the game. Goff didn't do anything. And I think the Browns defense will keep them in this one. I'm going to take the Browns.
Who starts for the Browns? Because at this point on Tuesday, we don't know. I mean,
It'll be Flacco.
Hasn't been benched, but
you can't throw Dylan Gabriel on the road in Europe against that complicated defense.
Flores.
No, you can't do it. So I think it's going to be Flacco.
Yeah, I think that this Browns defense will give them a shot in most games that they're in. And we thought about this team as kind of, the usual Browns at the beginning of the season, but we have to take into consideration that they've drafted well. Look at their running game with Judkins, and if you can hand him the football, play a little bit of keep away on this Vikings team and count on your defensive front to provide pressure on third down, that's the formula. Play keep away. When the Vikings do have the ball, they're potentially playing in we haven't been on the field in 20 minutes, we better make it happen. That can cause a little pressure. I'm thinking maybe Carson Wentz again has a tough one on the road.
And the Vikings offensive line is banged up. O'Neal went out of that game.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly went out of that game. I mean, you have injuries on the offensive line. That's never a good thing against that defensive front of Cleveland, because those guys are playing, not just Myles Garrett, the other guys are playing well up front as well. So it could be a problem for Carson Wentz.
And the Vikings have given up the most sacks in the NFL this season. 18 times Vikings quarterbacks have been sacked. Again, that's Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time from London. Hey, look at this.
Look at Kyle.
Amanda wearing the camo jacket to the team photo shoot.
I didn't even see Amanda was in the picture. That camouflage is working.
Sunday at 10, not on the road this week. You're back in studio?
Yeah, back in studio. It's going to be nice.
After you drank that Guinness in 0.7 seconds.
Yeah, that was a bad look for you.
It's a good beer. Fire me.
All right, here are the games on CBS in the early slate. Because of the buys, the 1 o'clock window is much smaller this week. We only have 3 games on CBS. Texans, Ravens, Broncos at Eagles, interesting one there, and the Giants and the Saints. All these spreads within 5 points. So we're going to start with Texans, Ravens, and both teams were preseason favorites in their division. Both teams are 1-3 right now, and the Ravens, where do you want to start with the injuries there?
Well, if the quarterback's hurt, they're done.
It's a hamstring for Lamar Jackson. We don't know his status at this point.
Does anybody think, if he doesn't play, does anybody think Cooper Rush can actually move the football against that defense? Because I don't.
It served him no positive to put Lamar Jackson back in that football game at Arrowhead the other day. It served them, they would benefit nothing from that. Lamar's been playing really good football. He's been throwing the football really well. I think he's got 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's got some
He
good
started
stats.
to hold the ball a little bit.
Look, if the hamstring is a hamstring, we might see a different version of Lamar Jackson next week, but I fully anticipate him being there against the Texans. This is a team that's in free fall. He is the parachute for the team. I think the more concerning thing is the health of that front. And obviously with Matabike
gone for the year,
and we heard Harbaugh say some stuff that seemed a bit dark and ominous there. He couldn't even really speculate on his future with the football team. We've seen Kyle Van Noy out of the lineup. Without your front, that's concerning. A lot more pressure goes on Lamar Jackson, but I fully anticipate him being a guy that he pulls himself up from his bootstraps and finds a way to go outplay at home C.J. Stroud.
If he's there, there's not a 100% chance he's going to be there. Here's
it's
the other
Tuesday.
Part of that. Here's the other part of that. You look at that.
He's
defense,
Superman.
Look at that defense. Roquan Smith hasn't been very good.
No.
He's out. He's not playing.
Marlon Humphrey hadn't been very good.
He's out.
You look at that. You cross the board. You cross the board. They're banged up, and those guys haven't played very well. This is not a good football team right now. It really isn't. And the Texans were better on offense, but they played the Titans last week, so you got to kind of table that a little bit. But they did show life. Woody Marks showed some life in the passing game, catching the football and running the ball. He's clearly going to be their back of the future. And I think defensively it's going to be tough sledding. If it's Cooper Rush, I don't see him moving the football against this defense.
All right. That game is 1 o'clock Eastern on CBS.
So, yes, I have the Texans.
You have the Texans?
I've got the Ravens, and I'm assuming it's going to be Lamar because I've seen how tough this guy is.
Can he change his pick if Lamar doesn't play?
No.
No, I'm picking the Ravens.
No flip-flop?
No, he's locked in.
Because they should wake up.
2001 Patriots, the only team to make the Super Bowl after a 1-3 start. I'm not sure anybody's picking the Ravens to make a run this season with all those injuries.
But the division is favorable, though.
Yeah, you're 2 games behind the Steelers at the top.
Right, but do you think the Steelers are that good?
Anything could happen.
And then you also have the other teams. Look at the Bengals the Monday night they weren't very good, and then you look at the Browns. What do they got?
Steelers on a bye this week. 2 winnable games out of the bye. Steelers might be sitting there at 5-1, so this is a big one for the Ravens. Let's go to the Broncos at the unbeaten Eagles. Philadelphia, the only unbeaten in the NFC. Yeah, Broncos are 2-2, but
this is fun.
They're 2 field goals away from being unbeaten as well. Their 2 losses came at the buzzer.
I would have been so pissed off on that field goal down in Indianapolis. Look, there's a lot been made about the Eagles' offense, and everybody wants to talk about the coordinator, the quarterback. I'll be honest with you. The issue is that Lane Johnson's been in and out of the lineup. Mekhi Becton, the guard for hire last year.
Steen hasn't been very good.
So the guard for hire last year is in L.A. And Landon Dickerson, who was an all-pro left guard, is a guy that's coming off of a surgery and an injury before the season even started. So they got more issues than just A.J. Brown wants the ball. And I would say that offensive line issue is as real as it gets. And it feels a little bit like the fall of the Roman Empire. It's piece by piece. It's not all at once. It's like you can see signs in that offensive line. Look, I'm not burying anybody, but I'm just saying the health of the offensive line is the most pertinent spot on the field. And for the Eagles, it's more important than ever because they've got a running back who can capitalize on dominant blocks from guys like Lane Johnson, guys like Jordan Mailata, guys like Landon Dickerson. They haven't got the full version out of them this year. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Jalen Hurts has had to play with some semblance of an offensive support system that is like everybody else in the league. So for people who always say he just has a great O-line, what you're seeing right now from Jalen Hurts is a guy battling like every other quarterback in the league. So that's something to keep an eye on. I do have the Denver Broncos in this game. I love their running game. I love their defense. They're going to put a lot of stress on that offensive line for the Eagles.
By the way, we have we always try to get the headline, the Kyle headline. Mm-hmm. Get your shovels out. The Eagles ready to
Stop it.
They're crumbling.
I'm just saying, man.
No, you're right, because it's hard to
Eagles
repeat.
Empire.
It's hard to repeat. All these little things start happening, and they haven't played very well. This has not been a good-looking football team.
The numbers are staggering, Pete. They're
Yeah.
averaging 251.5 yards per game.
Terrible.
That's the fewest for a 4-0 team since before World War II started.
Yeah.
The fall
when
of
I started covering the
1941.
league.
Yeah.
Back in those days.
Before they invented the forward pass.
But I mean, this is not a good-looking team. And you talk about blocked field goal. They could have lost that game against the Rams if it weren't for the blocked field goal. So it kind of goes both ways. I like what I saw from Bo Nix. He was struggling, and they got him
He heard
going.
what you said about his sophomore slump.
Well, they got him going. And look, the Bengals aren't very good on defense, but they did get him going. And I think that carries over. You're right. They're physical. They can run the ball. And defensively, I think it's going to be a match for this offense. I'll take the points. I'll take the Broncos.
And you know who they played this past game? The Broncos. They had to play against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I've never seen two guys look more frustrated than I watched those guys.
Well, they also were getting
game.
passes thrown to them by Jake Brown.
But it's a good way to prep. It's
that.
a good way to prep
Yeah.
for going to try to shadow a guy like A.J. Brown who's pissed off and on his Facebook page making posts.
That's ridiculous, by the way. Look, but that's the receivers. It's every receiver, every single one I've ever been around in my entire life. They all they do.
I'm done being pissed about it. You just got to expect it.
All they do is complain about not getting the ball. I've had guys. I'm telling you, I've had guys in this league that had 2 catches for 17 yards, and the team won by 20, and they were miserable. And then they had 8 for 120, and they lost the game, and they were happy as could be. It's the way they are. It's wide receivers.
You guys.
There it is. If you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Shrug your shoulders and be on your way.
So, I mean, just on the surface, I take that as he's going to walk away from the team and never play for the Eagles again.
That's
Shrug your shoulders and walk away.
These receivers, man.
He's shrugging his shoulders and walking away from actually saying something he doesn't want to say.
I want to throw him the ball a lot, but I think that Moss, I think that Surtain, those guys are going to handle their business.
I'll take the Broncos
I
as
like
well.
the Broncos.
Okay, Broncos to win outright. Bo Nix has never won a game as an underdog. He's 0-6.
No, I'll take
Broncos will cover.
They'll cover.
Just cover. Just cover.
Somehow this Eagles team is finding a way.
Yes.
Yeah,
to win
and
games.
they might in this one as well. The guys have him winning, but not covering that 4.5 point spread. All right, this next game has flipped. Giants and Saints. The Giants were 1.5 point favorites. It's in New Orleans. The Saints are now favorites in this game. It's Jackson Dart. He's never lost against Spencer Rattler. He's never won.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the Saints here. And I think that Malik Neighbors injury was devastating to this team. And you put a guy like Jackson Dart in the position that he was in this past week because he's got some support around him. He's got some young buddies he can give the ball to Cam Scatterbo. He can throw the ball down the field to Malik Neighbors, who more often than not is going to win the 50-50 balls. You don't have that, and you're on the road. And New Orleans is a tough place to play. I don't care who's playing quarterback for him. I'm going to go with the Saints in this game. And you know I'm a big supporter of Jackson Dart, but you're going to take your lumps early on as a quarterback, and I think this is going to be one of those games.
I'm in agreement with you. You know, we saw an opening drive that was scripted. He did a lot of good things. It was great. He went down the field. Then the rest of the game, aside from a few throws here and there, or a few runs here and there too, he didn't do a whole hell of a lot. So it's his first NFL road start, and that is a tough place to play. Anybody who's ever been in New Orleans in that dome knows how tough it is to play in there. and it's going to be a real challenge for him. And the Saints showed some fight last week against Buffalo, and so I think they get back home. I don't think Dart plays as well. You mentioned no neighbors. That's big for them. I think the Saints will play well on defense. I think it's a low-scoring game, and I think the Saints find a way to win it.
It's been exactly a year since the Giants have won their last road game. It was Week 5 of last season against Seattle. So those games are in the 1 o'clock Eastern Time window. Baby.
There he goes.
That's it.
4:05. You got the 3-1 Bucks, the 3-1 Seahawks, or the Titans and the Cardinals.
I call that the get a coffee window.
Well, here's the rest of the early games over on that other network. Colts looking to bounce back after their first loss of the season. Cowboys coming off a tie. Jets just looking for a win. And Dolphins and Panthers, two of the teams at the bottom of Pete Prisco's power rankings.
Over on that other network. That's like the old time thing. You never could say
Over
it.
on that other network. Yeah, those guys, our enemies over there. Your dad's over there. I mean, they're good people over there at the other network. Let's go Raiders and Colts. Wearing Skechers on set.
That's good.
Colts favored by 6.5 here. Pete, you called that kind of a prove-it game last week for the Colts. They were in it. They almost won it,
What'd
but
they prove
couldn't
to
get
you?
it done.
It proved to me that they almost won a game, and they probably would have won a game if their wide receiver didn't try and stick the ball. By the way, he wasn't extending the ball to the goal line. What he was doing was going to extend it and raise it in the air as a celebration.
He was
so that's even
celebrating,
worse.
Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, and look, you can't do that in this league, and he'll learn a lesson from it. The team will put it on the tape, put it on the board on Monday. I would call them out in front of the team meeting and then just embarrass them and then get on with it. It's over with, and that's the way it should be. The Colts played well last week, but I think this is one of those spots where the Raiders go in there and hang around. Look, Geno Smith can't play as bad as he did last week. He was awful. He threw 3 interceptions. He's got to pick it up. I think they will pick it up. I think Crosby was a maniac last week against the Bears. He was everywhere. He didn't get a sack, but he was everywhere that day. I think he impacts this game. I'm going to take the Raiders in the points.
It's just so rare to have a guy like Max Crosby who lines up in the same spot the entire game, make plays in so many different other areas of the field. Okay, it's not like he's just going to beat the tackle and get the sack. No, he's like Picasso. He's playing by his own rules out there. He's tipping balls in the air, catching them. You want to throw a tunnel screen, he's going to find a way to get inside in the alley. It makes it tough for everybody, and that's what Daniel Jones is going to be competing with. And I'm glad you said the Raiders had a lot of issues, even in that close game. Blocked field goal to lose the football game. I think Ashton Genty's coming along.
Well, he broke out last week.
I think we haven't seen the best from Geno Smith yet, and he had said that as well at the presser. I don't know how healthy Brock Bowers is, who has obviously been the most prolific part of this offense over the last 24 months or whatever the heck it is. I'm still going to pick the Colts. I like their formula for winning. I think they're going to find a way to lock in mentally. You know, the Adonai Mitchell thing is unbelievable. That's just unacceptable. I find that after instances like those, you really focus in, and I think the Colts can handle business. They're going to be at home. Give me the Colts.
Did you ever have anything like that in your career where I know you weren't going into the end zone celebrating?
Benny Cunningham, I think, one time did it. I think Benny Cunningham reached out and the ball popped out, and it was
you were on the team.
Time in my career where finding the end zone wasn't exactly the easiest thing in the world, and I remember that sticking out to me.
Benny Cunningham.
I loved Benny
remember
Cunningham.
Benny Cunningham.
Funny dude. Not funny that day.
Yeah, right.
He was not
All
funny
right,
that day.
Cowboys and Jets. Dak Prescott quietly on pace to be the first Cowboy ever to lead the league in yards per game.
He's having a good year, and the offensive line is getting better. That's something you got to pay attention to. People, sleeping on that line, and they have a lot of assets that they've used to develop that line. So offensively, they're playing really well. They still have defensive issues, and that's going to be a bugaboo for them the entire season. They don't cover very well. They don't rush the passer very well. They don't stop the run very well. They're a bad defense, so teams will move the football on them. The Jets happen to be a really bad team, period. I mean, the penalties, the turnovers, I thought Aaron Glenn was going to go there and instill discipline in that team. They're as sloppy as can be, and that's a major problem. Fields does some things. He was, did some really good things against the Dolphins.
Does he ever?
And he'll put up some numbers in this game, but I think Dallas is going to be tough to stop. The Jets lead the league in missed tackle. They don't tackle anybody. They just don't. It's almost like they don't care. They don't tackle very well. I think the Cowboys will win this game.
There's been two guys that I've mentioned today that, in my opinion, have played themselves into the MVP conversation. conversation early in the season. I know it's really early in the season, but you lose a guy like CeeDee Lamb in your offense, and you think, well, there goes the lifeblood of our success offensively. Dak Prescott has been balling in a big way, a major way. And I'm so glad that Brian Schottenheimer went at the podium and he said, you find me a quarterback who's playing better than my guy. I love that stuff. And you talked about the offensive line. They brought in a lot of these guys, young pups, and they've been growing together, finding some
And some
chemistry.
of them are hurt and they're still playing well. The other backups are playing well.
Finding some chemistry.
Yep.
That's a young room that's going through some things. And they've got their quarterback, the old salty general now, and Dak Prescott, who has been balling. You are in every game if George Pickens is on the field still. That young man is fun to watch. I got the Cowboys in this game. I just don't think you can match production with that offense if you're the Jets.
If you're Dak Prescott, you take the field every single week knowing you're going to have to put up numbers because that defense can't stop. And he's been forced to.
Put up 40 points.
Just like when he was at Mississippi State, dude. He wasn't on the best team in the conference, but every single weekend he went out there and put the team on his back. It's like what we're seeing in the league.
It's fun
now.
to watch. He's good. He's probably one of the most underappreciated players in the league.
Has to be.
Yep.
More on Aaron Glenn and that Jets defense. You said they can't tackle. They also can't take the ball away. If they don't get a takeaway in this game, they'll be the first team ever with 0 takeaways through 5 games. And for a defensive head coach in his first year, that's not a good look.
One other thing, Trayvon Diggs. He had a rough week 2 weeks ago. He tackled really well in that Packers game. I saw him putting his body in there. You know, I see that. I'm an O-lineman, but I see that, Trayvon Diggs.
I see you.
All right. Get it.
His job is to cover, though.
Yeah, but tackling's a big part, too.
I know.
Let's get to the Dolphins and Panthers. And this is another
They're
one of
going to
those
run
games.
it a lot.
Another one of those games that flipped. It was the Dolphins minus 1.5 yesterday. They won the game, but they lose Tyreek Hill for the season. And now the Panthers are favored by 1.5 at home.
That's a weird switch of the numbers just for Tyreek Hill to me. Particularly since
You don't think he's worth that? 3 points?
No.
So it was Panthers plus 1.5. Now it's Panthers. I mean, I think Tyreek is worth that much, especially with the way he's been playing lately. I mean, he was allowed free access into the secondary in that game
But
last
I think
night.
quarterbacks, when you move lines like that, usually it's a quarterback injury that moves a line like that, not a wide receiver injury.
Waddle can still go. Darren Waller's.
He resurrected.
Darren Waller's back from his mixtape tour. Happy to see him out there. Look, I mean, anything can happen. If Tua is healthy, if Waller is healthy and playing like he has been, if he looks better this week, this is like easy peasy Dolphins.
What did anybody see from the Panthers last week that would give you an idea that they should be favored in any game?
Maybe they didn't see that game. They saw the last one where they won 30-0.
Well, that was the Michael Penix give it away game. But, you know, they were terrible last week. And they haven't been good all year. This is not a good football team. And Bryce Young isn't very good. Let's be real. I mean, if you look at him on paper, his numbers aren't great. He's just okay. He had decent numbers against Arizona when he had to rally him back. Other than that, he hadn't done much all year. So I think this is a game for Miami to go get a little streak together. I think Tua will play well even without Tyreek Hill. I don't think that defense is very good in Carolina right now.
Tua better protect himself a little bit better than
Yeah, that was scary last night when he took that shot.
All right, those are the 1 o'clock Eastern time games. Just 6 in that window total, 3 on CBS and 3 on that other network. Here are the picks from the fellers. They agree on the Broncos plus 4.5, the Saints minus 1.5, the Cowboys minus 2.5 at the Jets on that bad turf at MetLife, and Miami.
What do you think about that turf?
On the road at Carolina?
Terrible.
They should mandate grass.
You played on that field, right?
If they say mowing the grass is expensive, I would say, you know what's more expensive? Malik Neighbors not being on the field. Odell Beckham Jr. not being on the field.
Correct.
Nick
Bosa
Bosa.
got hit on that? He got hurt on
But what
that
do you do
field?
with the indoor stadiums?
I don't know, man.
You can have grass in the indoor stadium.
We put a man on the moon, Pete.
Don't
Let's
they do
go.
it in Arizona?
Let's go.
They
Grass.
do it in Arizona. Grass. I'm with grass.
Mark Wahlberg grew potatoes on Mars. Let's go.
Here's the afternoon slate. Was that Mark Wahlberg in that movie? I thought it was somebody else.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, I think it was Matt Damon.
Same guy. Look at you. Same guy. They're all the same genre.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, let's zero in on Bucs Seahawks on CBS at 4:05 Eastern time. This is one of those old school jersey matchups.
Wow.
Does it get better than this?
I am drooling
And
on
by the way,
table.
I love the Bucs uniforms. Those Seahawks, old-time Seahawks uniforms are fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Can't you see Dave Craig throwing to Steve Largent in those uniforms?
Oh, back when they were in the AFC.
Yeah.
God,
AFC West.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that one. Okay, so the Seahawks are at home. They're favored by 3. It is a matchup of 3-1 teams, but maybe teams heading in little opposite directions. Bucs just had their first loss. Seahawks 3-game winning streak, Pete.
Yeah, and the Bucs let that game get away from them early and then kind of got back into it because that's what the Bucs do. That's what Baker Mayfield does. Getting Wirfs back is important because now the offensive line is a little more stable than it was. I think they can go out on the road against Seattle. Seattle's defense has been really good, by the way. Really good across the board. Everybody. The secondary, they covered well. The pass rush has been good. They've been stopping the run. But I think the Bucs go up there and hang around and find a way to win it late. I think Baker Mayfield will find a way to win this game late. I'll take the points. I also am waiting.
No, you're not going to.
Dude, don't do it. Don't do it.
You're waiting for Sam Darnold to turn into a pumpkin again?
I'm waiting for him to have a Sam Darnold.
Last year you waited until the playoffs
We had
for that
to wait
happen.
so long.
And it happened. Did it happen? He's not in Minnesota anymore either, is he? It happened.
He got the big contract.
They'd like to have him back, don't
Right now they would. But it happened. Didn't it happen last year?
That boy Sam Darnold proved.
Didn't it happen last year?
It did happen.
It did happen. It's going to happen at some point this
Look,
year. I don't know if it'll be this week, but I'll take the Bucs.
My football brain says pick the Seahawks because they're at home. It's a tough place to play because they can run the football. They can play defense.
Is this the longest trip in the NFL going from
Miami
to Seattle?
Miami to Seattle would be.
What about Dublin?
Well, that's a little different.
But
both teams have to travel.
It might be a little smart alecky here.
Yeah.
I would say this. My heart just says Baker Mayfield, and I'm going to pick the Bucs here because I think it's a smart thing to do, and I would hate to be there on next Tuesday, and you picked Baker and I didn't.
By the way, Brazil was a long road trip.
Yeah. Travis Kelce didn't know where Brazil was.
Seahawks, by the way, the second highest point differential in the NFL this season, despite losing that opener. 11 points per game. They're outscoring their team by second only to the
Good defense.
Lions.
Mike McDonald, he's a good defensive coach.
Also at 4:05 on CBS, Titans Cardinals. Tennessee's lost 3 straight by 14 plus. It's a big line here, 8.5, but Tennessee looks terrible.
They look awful. And I think there's a coaching change coming. And
they're kind of lashing out.
Yeah, and he lashed out, and it just doesn't. People are attacking him.
What did Cam Ward say at the press conference?
I mean, it was bad. I mean, he just fired away. And by the way,
I like Cam Ward,
but he's part of the problem. He's part of the problem too. He's not playing very well.
You said Will Levis played better than him.
He did. He did. First 4 starts.
I just wanted to hear it from you.
Well, I'll say it, and I'll say it again and again. He played better the first 4 starts. So, the bottom line is this is not a good team. They're not good on offense. They don't stop anybody on defense. Jeffrey Simmons can still play, but most of that team isn't great on defense. I think this is one of those games where Arizona, which hasn't looked good on offense, by the way, in Kyler Murray's prove-it year, he hasn't been great either. And so, but I do think they'll find a way to win this game. There you go.
Oh, Pete was right.
First 4 starts.
Look at those numbers.
Okay, completion percentage is quite a bit better. Touchdown to interception ratio a lot better.
But he threw it across the field right to left. Chris, you're not supposed to do that. Cam Ward can do that.
It's amazing to me. Look, I'm not picking on Cam Ward. It's just that sometimes you got to balance it out by showing.
I like Cam Ward. If I'm in that offensive line room, I love the stuff this young guy does. And he fought Jeffrey Simmons in training camp. Come on, you got my respect, buddy.
And he's the first one in and the last one out.
What are the telltale signs of the apocalypse in a building, Pete? The first one is you pass the play calling duties around.
Right.
Okay, that's number 1. Check that box. Maybe somebody on staff doesn't know the rules. Check that box. Number 3, go to the podium and tell the reporter, I think I know what you're trying to do to me. When you start to get a little bit sensitive at the podium, you feel the room shrinking on you a little bit. I feel for Coach Callahan, but this is the nature of doing business in this league. I mean, not everybody can win all the games.
No, and you look at that team.
That being said, I got the Cardinals.
They're supposed to be good on the offensive line, better. They're not. They have one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, his father. They hadn't made him any better. They don't have any weapons outside. Ridley drops a ton of passes. It's just not a good football team right now.
These are the only 2 teams in the league, by the way, that have not reached 300 yards of total offense in a single game this season. So it kind of goes to Pete's point about the Cardinals struggling on offense, but potentially a breakout game here for Kyler Murray and the Cards.
He needs one, by the way.
He went wild on the Titans back in 2021. Let's go to 4:25 Eastern. Commanders,
this is gonna be fun.
Chargers, and Jaden Daniels. We think he's going to be able to return. I don't know. Do you think is that a good thing or not for the Commanders? Since you're a big Mariota guy here, right?
I think Mariota can bridge the gap, but it's always nice to have Jaden Daniels in the lineup.
I mean, they're so close.
I think that they have one of the best backup quarterbacks.
He's a good backup quarterback.
He went 1-1.
We can agree there.
He's a really good backup
Do you
quarterback.
want me to stand up like your guy Damien on the show?
He's a really good backup quarterback.
Look, this Chargers team is in trouble, okay? And they're in trouble because they lost Rashawn Slater early in the season, and Joe Alt just went down, and it's a high ankle, and it's what's it going to be, 6 to 8? Something. I would say 6 to 8 before he feels like himself.
Yeah.
At the very least, they can throw him back out there in 4. I would say, do we think that we can beat this Chargers team with Marcus, and we can get Jaden another week of health?
On the road, though, you're also playing consecutive road games on a long trip. That's a tough turnaround.
Dan Quinn will have these guys ready to roll. That being said, I am going to be picking the Commanders in this game.
I'm going to take the Chargers. I think last week was chargering. They always do that at some point during the season, maybe twice, maybe in the playoffs, where they look like they're going to be ready to sail and go. Oh, people are talking about the best team in the league, the Chargers. They go lose to Jackson Dart on the road. That should never happen. But I saw some good things. I saw even after Alt went out, Hampton ran the ball, had a big run. Defensively, I think they'll be able to get after whoever plays quarterback. And here's the other thing about the Commanders. Michael Penix was dreadful the week before. They made him look good last week. That's a worry.
He got coached up a lot last week.
That's a worry. And, Bijan Robinson was a big part of it. I think this offense will be good enough. I'll take the Chargers here in this one.
This is a gut pick for me. That's why I have the Commanders.
Chargers had 14 penalties last week. Herbert finally threw a couple of picks. He'd gone like 27 straight without doing that.
Chris, every team in the league has a ton of penalties this year. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
What, do you think is it the refs that are throwing the flag
training
too
camp.
much? Oh.
No training camp, no preseason. They don't practice. You got to hit. You got to get on the field. Lining up is becoming. These teams. I saw Jacksonville had a 3rd and 1 and had a delay of game penalty. You can't have that happen.
On the punt.
No, this was on the.
Did you see this one? It was like 3rd and 10, delay of game. They get to the punt. Delay of game.
What about the Jets Monday night? Everything, or even the Bengals Monday night. The penalties are out of control.
How about Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur's quarterback, not being able to get his offensive line ready to take another shot at winning the football game?
It's crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
The situational coaching, the penalties, and the injuries are all infuriating. I mean, you know what they need? How about playing in a preseason and training camp? How about that?
Speaking of the Bengals, speaking of injuries, it's the 3rd game without Joe Burrow now, and they're nearly double-digit underdogs against the Detroit Lions, who, despite losing that first game convincingly to the Packers, they're alone in first place in the division here.
It's funny. A couple weeks ago, we were right here, and what did I say? Jake Browning, they're done.
Yeah.
They lose Joe Burrow, Jake Browning. Oh, he went 4-3. Remember Leger arguing with me? He went 4-3. No.
72% completion percentage.
Yeah. Well, that's your captain check down. That's what you are. And the bottom line is the Bengals either have to make a move to go get a quarterback. Call somebody. Call on Jameis Winston. Call on Kirk Cousins. Get somebody.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Don't go that low. But they aren't winning with Jake Browning. I think that's quite obvious. When you see the wide receivers moping around the way they were moping around last night, that tells you what they think about Jake Browning. So the Bengals are toast if they don't go get a quarterback, if they play Jake Browning. I know it's cruel and crass, and it's he's a backup quarterback and he's playing, but that's the reality of it. And I don't think they can compete with teams like the Lions. The Lions weren't very good on offense against the Browns last week. But they will be against this defense. They're going to move the football, get back to it.
They still scored, 34 points?
Yeah, but they had a punt return for a touchdown.
Some of the questions I had about this Lions group has been answered with a resounding, don't worry about it, big fella. The rookie right guard, Tate Ratledge.
Tough.
I liked him coming out of Georgia, but this guy has showed me that he has a plan. He fits into what Hank Fraley wants to get done, his offensive line coach, and that's one of the most important retainments on that Detroit staff is offensive line coach Hank Fraley. I know everybody made a lot of buzz about, obviously, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, but the smart stuff, the important stuff is still there. Tate Ratledge, his pass set is a jump set, quick set, boom, boom. If you go on the street and you ask somebody, you're outside of a bar, you say, show me your best pass set, what's the first thing they're going to do? They go backwards, right? They kick set backwards.
Right.
And I wouldn't even know what you're
talking about.
They
look like an idiot. I'll be like, it's 3rd down. Show me your pass set.
Show me your pass set.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tate Ratledge's pass set is this. Boom, boom. It's forward, okay? And that's the identity of the Detroit Lions offense.
Is that what you offensive linemen do at the bar? You go, let's show me your pass set.
Dude, absolutely. This is like, this is a thing. Tate Ratledge is a microcosm of what Dan Campbell and Johnny Morton's offense wants to be. We're moving forward. It's front towards enemy. We're not retreating ever. And everything plays into run, back foot, ball from Jared Goff. I love the Lions. I think they cover the number. The Lions are dangerous.
And by the way, Aiden Hutchinson is back.
I don't know how that happened, but he looks great.
He's back. He's been fantastic. And one last thing about the Bengals. They kind of threw in the towel with 4 minutes to go the other night and punted. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, they were getting smoked. The game was over.
You don't punt in that situation. Anything can happen. You don't punt.
All right. It should be the Lions' first win over the Bengals since 1992. John Breach's dad was kicking in that game for Cincinnati. That's how long it's been since the Lions have beaten Cincinnati. They've lost 7 straight. Recapping the picks in the late window on Sunday. And it's 3 agreements here. Bucks, Cards, and Lions. Only disagreement there on the Commanders and Chargers between Pete and Kyle, who have been hot, especially Pete lately.
On fire.
Patriots and Bills. Okay. How about this? Patriots, they scored 42 points last week. Drake May, highest completion percentage for a Patriots quarterback, second only through 4 games to Tom Brady in the 2007 season. When he had
He's the third quarterback since Tom Brady.
No, but season-wise, you go back to 2007.
One of those guys,
that's the
and one of
last
those
time.
guys was Mac Jones, so it doesn't
It's
count.
Tom Brady, Mac Jones, Brian Hoyer, and
It doesn't count. Mac Jones.
Cam Newton was spliced in there at
Mac
some
Jones.
point.
That's all we need to
I'm
say.
the most handsome 6'6" pick giver at CBS Sports that is also bald and has a beard named Kyle.
Well, you got that going for you.
If the Bills
the
win
only
this
one.
game- if the Bills win this game, they'll already have a 3-game lead in this division 5 weeks in.
Yeah, buddy. The Bills are for real. And it just shows that there's so much more in flux around the league with the quarterback injuries, with teams like the Baltimore Ravens showing up, not showing up, finishing, not finishing. The Bills have been just quietly doing what the Bills do, man. And it starts up front with that offensive line. Aaron Cromer, we talk about it all the year, or all the time. They're great on 3rd down. They can be great on 4th down, got to have it situations. Not only can they beat you up front, but Josh Allen is an extra number in your offense you have to account for every single time. He's playing lights out. I love the Bills in this one. As much as I love Drake May and Vrabel's turning over a new leaf there, I love the Bills in this one.
Yeah, and they had punt return for a touchdown, another one that was almost set up a touchdown. So they had a lot of things go their way last week. They're playing good football, and Vrabel's instilled a tough culture on that team. And Drake May is going to be a star quarterback in this league. I don't have any doubt about that. But this is a tough spot. You go on the road on the night game at that place, and I'll be honest with you. In watching the tape of the Bills, they've kind of slogged through the opponents haven't really brought the best out.
They're bored.
That's kind of what I feel. And if you, I said this before the season. Remember, I said you look at their schedule, but they get the Chiefs, I think, in 3 weeks or something.
I'll be there.
They don't have any real challengers. Their toughest game is at Atlanta, and we've seen what they can do at times. So they're kind of bored. I'm with you. The whole season has to be about the offenses continuing to do what they do, but it's developing the defense, getting the young defensive tackles going, getting Hairston back when he gets back out, and getting this whole team going as a defense. Because once they do,
They get their suspension guys back this week, don't
6
they?
weeks.
So
6
next week.
Yeah,
Okay.
6 weeks. Those guys come back.
Yeah, half their D-line will
Ogunjobi
be
and Hoyt.
new starters.
Yeah, Ogunjobi and Hoyt. And they're going to be good on defense by the end of the year. That's what this season has to be about for them.
A lot of parallels to those Super Bowl teams of the early 90s.
And I got the Bills, by the way.
If they win this game, it'll be 15 straight at home, which would tie a franchise record set back in 90-91 season. 4 straight 30-plus point games to start the year, first time since 92. Game day recap, Sundays, 8:20 Eastern Time.
Rand made the promo finally.
Pete and the gang.
They got him in
Rand's on there.
You guys look great.
Haley Sutton, Damian Harris. It's a great program on Sunday nights, recapping everything that happened earlier in the day on Sunday. On Monday Night Football.
I've been waiting to talk about this one.
Did we have the Jags having a better record coming into this thing than the Chiefs going into the season?
No.
This is a good matchup of Chiefs offense versus Jaguars defense. Chiefs have 1 turnover all year. Nobody has fewer in the NFL. Jags have 13 takeaways this season, most in the NFL.
Sometimes, and I'm going to give Anthony Campanelli, the defensive coordinator, a lot of credit, but sometimes when you take the ball away, it kind of masks some of your problems on defense, and they've kind of done that. But they're getting better on that side of the ball. The concern is Trayvon Walker has a wrist injury. Don't know if he's going to be able to go. If he can't go, that's a big loss to their pass rush, because you got to be able to rush the passer against Patrick Mahomes. Then again, anybody who plays opposite Jawan Taylor will be able to rush the passer, so it's really not that big a deal if he's not there. I think this is one of those spots where the place is going to be jumping again. They haven't beaten the Chiefs, since 2009, I think, was the last time they beat the Chiefs. It's going to be a tough challenge to beat them, but I think they're going to find a way. I think Trevor Lawrence will play better than he's played so far. It's just, they've been, one thing about the Jaguars, we always talk about the offensive lines. The offensive line is the most improved unit of anybody in the NFL. Of any unit in the NFL. They were garbage on the offensive line.
And now everybody's like, oh, Trevor Lawrence looks really good.
Yeah,
Liam Cohen's brilliant.
I'm
like, that,
they're running the ball. Look at ETN.
That can be true.
Right. But ETN is running the ball. It's the offensive line. They've done a great job up front of pushing people around. They're physical now, and I think that shows up in this game. I'll take Jacksonville.
You know what? I also have a wrist injury because I slapped myself in the face so hard because I picked the Ravens against the Chiefs while I was doing NFL Today Plus at Arrowhead. Okay, I should never be allowed back on property. Okay, those are my buddies.
So they hate you in the Bears, and they hate you in.
They hate me everywhere, but you know where else they're going to hate me?
Welcome to my club.
Jacksonville. When I pick the ultimate villain, Patrick Mahomes, after getting real hot this past game, coming down there to Jacksonville and showing your guy what quarterbacking looks like. I mean, I give Trevor a lot of credit. I give the Jaguars a lot of credit, Liam Cohen. But Andy Reid and the boys are coming to town, and it's going to be football 101. They're playing again in Kansas City.
Biggest Jags home game since what? When they were in the playoffs a few years ago?
Yeah, when the Chargers playoff game. And the biggest regular season home game since that same season when they played the Titans. Remember at the end of the year for the division.
Are you going to go up there for it? You should go there for it.
Oh, I got work here.
As the mayor of Jacksonville, you should be there for their biggest home game.
I got work here. I got work here.
All right, that Monday Night Football next week as we recap the primetime games and that London game between the Vikings and Browns. Both of you guys on the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5, the lowest total of the week at 36.5. That Patriots-Bills game, believe that's the only total in the 50s at 50.
That game's in London?
It's in London.
What do they drink in London? I had a Guinness last week when they were in Dublin.
What's the Brits?
Maybe tweet us.
choice?
Maybe put it in the YouTube comments.
You have shepherd's pie for something to eat.
I had shepherd's pie last night.
Does it have peas in it?
No, we didn't use the peas.
Okay,
that's the key.
Okay,
that's the key.
I
Don't
wouldn't
use the peas. It's
Remember
actually
shepherd's
good.
peas.
Do you remember shepherd's pie? You guys probably don't remember this. They used to have school lunch. They'd have a shepherd's pie, and it was like all it was mashed potatoes and ground beef in it. That's it.
That's how we got.
Everybody hit their best bets last
That's the way
week.
I like it.
Everybody. Oh, producer. Producer, you didn't hit that last week? Okay. You're going to love the producer's pick this week.
I heard it's going to be.
You're gonna love it.
I can't wait.
Pete, lead us off since you're so hot.
I'm going with the Texans. I just don't believe in the Ravens. I think that defense will keep it close. And it wouldn't shock me to see them win the game, but I'm going to take the Texans plus the points.
Wouldn't shock you to see them win the game?
No, that Ravens team is a shell of itself.
Texans money line then?
Is that what you're trying to add? Well, yeah, maybe.
Sprinkle.
Look,
Sprinkle.
the Browns have proven me something, and the Vikings have proven me something. Quarterbacking matters, and they don't have their guy out there. I'm going to go under. Vikings-Browns will be under
36 and a half?
36 and a half.
Whoa, you're
Jeez,
really
what a miserable game that's going to be.
You know what you're doing? You're going.
Welcome to London, bud.
You're going low.
That's me. That's me. Not loose. It's going to be tight.
Is anything getting loose this week?
No, nobody's getting loose except for you got to try and find one game because nobody tries to throw the ball down the field anymore.
I'm going to go with, I think the Lions will get loose against the Bengals. Lions minus 9.5 against the Bengals. Lions have scored 34 plus in 3 straight games. Bengals, since the injury to Joe Burrow, averaging 6.5 points per game in the Jake Browning starts.
You know what they're calling that? They call that pick?
What?
Bucking history, because you're bucking history.
Commanders-Chargers.
That's true, yeah.
Commanders-Chargers could get loose.
Say that fast a couple times.
What, bucking history? We're setting bucking history here on our pick show. Producer pick this week. Who's the worst team in the league right now? Titans?
No, the Saints.
Okay, Titans are up there.
They're both
right?
up there.
Titans are playing the Cardinals. The producer pick is Titans first half team total over 7.5. So we're looking at just
This thing's going to make me vomit.
3 field goals or a touchdown and a field goal from the Tennessee Titans in Arizona against the Cardinals. Can we get there?
So the Titans in the first half have to
Just
score
8
at
points
least
or more.
8 points.
Yeah.
But-
Maybe you go for 2 after you score a
Just
touchdown.
out of curiosity, who came up with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack, is this you on this pick? A collective effort.
There's some guy standing in a motel peeking out the blinds.
You know what this
who's coming up with this stuff.
this sounds like a Todd Furman pick. Like they reached out for help.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It seems a little too.
There's plus money on this, by the way. It's plus 110.
Yeah.
So a little bit extra if that comes through. Graham offered the assistance.
Oh, wow.
That's Ruben's boy, Graham.
Okay.
So what was it? Some kind of weird teaser
Last week. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, Trey Benson last week.
That's right.
Yeah,
They're getting too exotic. Just pick
Trey
the damn,
Benson
Pick the damn game. Pick the damn games, would you? Getting way too exotic.
They are our best bets. Remember, folks, to spay and neuter your pets, and also there are
Bob Barker.
There are 4 buys this week. 4 buys this week. And we've got that London game.
Was that a real read? Spay and neuter your pets?
No, it's
Of course not.
just a callback to Bob
Barker.
We appreciate you watching. As always, Pete Prisco will
was too
comb
young for
through
Bob
your
Barker.
YouTube comments and pick out his favorite ones. He prints them off each week, and we post them in our newsroom.
Love my YouTube
Our
fans.
social producer Ruben goes through them
I heard
and
you
finds
make
the best
toilet
comments.
paper with them.
For Pete Prisco and Kyle
Some
Long,
days I need it.
I'm Chris Hassel. Good luck week 5 in the NFL.
Depends what I eat.